Hi everybody, this is Professor West for GMC, and today we are going to be talking about slides and the different parts of the slides and how to manipulate them. So, if you're following along, start your presentation, and we're going to click Blank Presentation. This brings up what we call the title slide, because it would be the title of the presentation and so forth. And let me first tell you about the different things that you're seeing here. These are called placeholders. There's different kinds of placeholders. So these are text placeholders, and their purpose is to help you put the right information on the slide in the right way, in a way that looks professional. So let's say my presentation was about, I don't know, my favorite pets. So I could click there and I could type my favorite pets. And notice how the letters are taller and so forth. When I come down here and I say by Professor West, that's a little smaller. That's just what people would expect on a presentation, how it would be set up. Now, notice when I clicked off of there, it disappeared. But if I click back on it, it's right back. I could add more text. I could type some more. I could do whatever I want. Let me show you a few more things you can do with this. These little handles here on the ends, all the way around it, these little circles. Notice every time I point to one, my cursor changes. This one goes just left and right. If I click and hold, I can move this left and right and make my box smaller or bigger. And the same goes for this one. If this one here in the middle goes up and down, so I can move it up and down. The ones on the outer edge, it goes diagonal. I can click and hold, and I can move it down and in however far I want. So the whole point is I can make it whatever size I want. Now, I can click the box anywhere else. See how right now it's a little different. If I click and hold, I can move the entire box. And I can move it however I want, wherever I want. I can maybe put it down here or whatever I want, because it's mine. I'm creating it. And last but not least is this one that looks like most of a circle. This is for rotating. Now that I've clicked on it, I'm going to click and hold and see how my arrows change again. As I move this way, it's going to rotate it that direction. And it keeps going. I could stop right here and have it upside down. Or I could maybe move it like this and have it up and down. And then maybe I could move it over here. You see that sometimes. The point is, you can do pretty much anything with it. I'm going to put it back like it was. And I'm going to move it back towards the center. But you can do the same thing with the other one. I can move it down a little. Maybe I want my name at the bottom instead of right under the title. And notice these little red lines keep appearing. They're trying to help me get it right in the center. So notice my little dots here. That's the center of this box. That's where the line came up. So this is now centered from left to right. And if I go up or down, see when I get to right here, now it's just above the center line. So that's how my presentation would look. And there's a lot of different kinds of placeholders. So let me show you how to do a new slide. Make sure you're clicked on home. And here's my new slide. Now there's two parts to this. If I click on the top, it's going to create another slide exactly like this one was when I started. It'll have the same two placeholders. If I click the bottom half where it says new slide, then I get choices. Instead of the title slide, maybe I want a title and content this time, or a section header. This one has two things of content. This one for comparison. There's all these different choices. There's a blank one down here. So, for example, let's say I want this one with two content. It puts it in as my next slide, and now I have a place for a title for this slide and any text that I want to add in two different columns. But there's something important here. In addition to being able to add text, I can also point to these. This one will let me add stock images. That's just generic images that are already part of PowerPoint. This one will let me add pictures, which would be my pictures that I would need to find on my computer. insert an icon, insert a smart art graphic, insert a chart, table, a video, and a 3D model. I could do any of those, and if I click on it, it'll actually walk me through the process. So I'm going to cancel that because I'm not going to do it. Or I could come up here and click where it said click to add text. And because I chose this type of slide, see, it's already got a bullet over here. That's a little dot to the left. So it thinks I'm going to be listing things. So let's say this is a recipe for my favorite banana cake bread or whatever. So what would I need? I would need bananas. I would need sugar. I would need, I don't know what all. But you see the point. Every time I hit the enter, a dot comes up. Just like it did in Microsoft Word when I wanted to do a list like this. If I don't want the dot there, I could come up here where it's turned on. They're called bullets, and I could just click it and it'll go off. Also, I could have hit the backspace key and it would have taken it off. And now that there's not one on this line, if I hit enter, they don't appear. But from this line, since there's one on this line, when I hit enter, the next one appears. And it would keep doing that. So, there's a lot of different types of slides that you can add. And you can add, in addition to adding stuff, let's say I decided I only want one of these sections, I don't want both. I could click on it just like I would for moving it, just like I showed you a second ago. If I hit the delete key with that selected, the whole thing disappears. Now it brings back this box because when I run the presentation, if you look over here at the smaller window, you don't see these boxes. So it leaves these boxes on there so that I can add stuff more easily. If I go to another new slide, and let's say I want a blank one, none of that stuff's on there. But if I go back to this one, it's got all this stuff. So I could say, let's see, this is my favorite pet, so I could say dogs. And just like with Microsoft Word, I have all these tools available. I could center it, I could highlight the text, and I could do anything I want with it. I could highlight it, I could change the color. So now it's, well, it would be red. If it was, oh, there it goes. I could change the size. It's 44 now. I could go up to whatever I want. Let's say 60. I could underline it. I could bold it. All the stuff that you could do in Microsoft Word is all right here for the text. And you can do it all just as simply. Another thing I could do, let's say that I decided that, oh, I didn't want to have this kind of slide here. There's something else I could do. I could go to, let's see, not design. Don't remember where it's at. So I'm just going to come up to my quick search. I'm going to type layout. There we go. I could click layout. And there's all my choices for slides again. So I have it on the to content, but let's say I decide, oh, now I only want the title. Well, now it's just a title slide. It just replaced it with what I had here. And then I say, oh, you know what? I think I changed my mind again. I think now I want to go back to having the to content. Okay, there we go. So that's something you can do. Let's see. You can also change the order of the slides. Let's say I put this one and then I realize, oh, I wanted this one first. All you gotta do is click and drag it, and as you move down, the other one moves up in front of it. And same goes if you're moving it up. If I let it here, it'll be the second one. If I leave it here, it'll be the first one. So now it's my third slide. My presentation would start here, then it would go to this one, then it would go to this one. So let's say I decided, okay, I want more of this one exactly like it is. If you click on the slide, you can go up to the Home tab, and you can come over to where it says Copy, and copy it. And then you can paste it. And then it copies it, puts a copy of it on the clipboard. Paste tells it to take whatever's on the clipboard and put it right here. I can paste again. It puts it here. And then let's say I decide, oh, I want one of these, and I want it to go between these. All I got to do is click between them, and then tell it to paste, and now that one's there. And then I say, oh, I meant for it to go below this one. Okay, I can move that however I want. These are really easy to manipulate. So as long as you understand that you can do that, and let's say you decide, oh, I don't want this one at all, you can click on it and just hit the delete key, and there it goes. Now, just like in Microsoft Word, like if I wanted to copy this Word favorite, I could do Control-C to copy, and then Control-V to paste, right? So over here on the slides, I can do the same thing. If I click on the slide, I can do Control-C to copy it, and then Control-V will paste it. So all the shortcut keys work here. Okay, there's just a few more neat things I want to show you in this one. Look down here towards the bottom right. Right now, if I point to this one, it comes up and it says normal. You may not be able to see it because it's off the recording screen. But it just a little box pops up and says normal. That's because this is called normal view. If you move to the next one, it says slide sorter. If you click on that, it shows you all the slides like this, and that makes it a little easier because they're a little bigger than they were when they were just down the side. And I could say, oh, I want this one to be my second slide. So I can just move it right up here into place, or whatever you want to do. The next one says reading view. This is going to show exactly what it's going to look like as I start watching the presentation. And then I can always go back. Okay, I want normal view again. And see, this one here says notes. Sometimes people want to make notes. So if you click that, now I have this little window pop up down here that says notes. I can make a note. I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to drag this up a little. I can make notes about each slide. So let's say this slide, for this slide, it just says what my favorite pets and who I am. I could say, you know, I'm going to talk about the 9 dogs that I've had in my life, and the 4 cats, and the 1, I don't know, lizard, and the 3 tarantulas. I'm not sure if I spelled that right. Okay. Nope, I didn't. And again, just like in Word, it comes up and it tells you when you don't spell something right. So you can right-click on it and pick the right one. So now these notes are for me only, unless I say that you can see them. So when I'm running my presentation, you would see this slide, and I would say, oh yeah, throughout my life, I've had 9 dogs, and 4 cats, and 1 lizard, and 3 tarantulas, or something like that. I haven't really had lizards and tarantulas and stuff like that. But you can make these notes about anything. If you're doing a presentation on thermodynamics, you can have some notes down here. Whatever. It's totally up to you. And the best part is you can have it for every slide. So when I move to the next slide, oh, here we go, click to add more notes. And when I get down to the one about dogs, oh, click to add more notes. Maybe I could add a funny story here, or some facts about dogs, or whatever I want. It depends on what kind of presentation I'm doing. So it's totally up to me. And the great thing is, when you go to print this, if you go to File and you come to Print, and I've showed you this already, I believe, but there's different types where you can print it. So print all slides, print the selections, print current slides, print range. You can print full page slides. You can print notes pages. So sometimes you'll see, like right here, 3 slides has notes. If I go to print, that's how my slides would look. These would be the handouts that I would give everybody in the room. They would have all my notes already over here. Sometimes when you're doing a presentation, you don't want people to just sit there and make notes, because then they're not really listening to what you're saying. So if you go ahead and put a lot of the notes on there for them that they might write down, the important facts or whatever, then they can listen to you explain things without, you know, focusing so much on writing. And this still would give them the opportunity to write more if they want. You don't have to do it like that. You could not have any notes at all and still print it like this so that they would have room to make notes. That's totally up to you. So it depends completely on what you would want. So that's it for this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.